What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So in this video, I want to talk about how to set boundaries with your toxic family. I'm also going to touch bases on how to say no to your toxic family and how to stop enabling controlling parents and also adult siblings. Those are the other two things I'm going to speak on. Now, coming up in a toxic family usually labels you automatically as a scapegoat. And I have heard people tell stories about their upbringing and just how dysfunctional it was and how it made them feel. And you can tell when they get deep into their stories that it really took a toll on their whole life as far as coming up as an adult. But it usually starts from childhood. And the childhood, the 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 dysfunction, a lot of times it starts with like the parents and just coming up in an unstable home to where there's just a lot of probably fighting and a lot of blaming. And a lot of times people just need a punching bag, and it's easier for a parent and siblings to take everything out on one person of the family. And that's usually the child who's coming up in a family that ends up being the scapegoat. And this is abuse. It's abuse both verbal and physical. It also, it also has a lot of manipulation that it displays, and it also cripples you as you begin to come up into, your teenage years. Those parents, they're very critical and disapproving of everything that you do. This is when you're coming up into like your pre-adulthood, say like 18, 19, 20, 21. I mean, they are critical and they disapprove of everything you do. They don't motivate you. They shoot down all of your ideas. It's just like you can't say nothing that pleases them. You can't have free will, thoughts of your own. Everything you come up with is like you have to brace yourself for a negative response from them. And that's how it usually is in a toxic family. They like to lie to you and make you believe that, some fantasy life that they lived, which later resulted in them becoming some type of victim of circumstances. Those are the type of lies and games that parents normally plant into your mind when you're coming up in a toxic household. Now, again, at the same time, they're molding you. You're becoming the scapegoat. And you're getting mistreated constantly by your parents and by your siblings, you know. And somehow, sometimes they blame you. They use you as their punching bag, because you're the cause of things being the way it is at all times. They never take responsibility for their own failures in life. They'd rather put it off on someone else. And again, they put it on the scapegoat and make the scapegoat take the blame for their failures in life and why they didn't accomplish their dreams. But at the same time, again, as you become a young adult and you share your ideas and your hopes and dreams with them, they don't hesitate to shoot it down. They do that out of jealousy, they do it out of spite, misery, and at the same time, they just have like this cold side of them that they're unable to show empathy and compassion. So it's just like that's who they are, and that's all you start to see them as. And again, you begin to kind of brace yourself for those type of responses that you're going to get from your toxic family. Sometimes they shut you out. Now this is when you become an adult and you may move away. They shut you out as a form of punishment because you choose to take a stand for your life and make decisions that are best for yourself. And they don't have any say so. They don't have that control over you anymore. Just like a narcissist, if they can't control you, they punish you. And that's a lot of times what the narc family does. It shoots you, they shut you out because you don't make yourself available to them at all times anymore. Now because you're free, you're an adult, and you're choosing to do what makes you happy. Because they don't agree with it, because they don't have you there anymore as someone who they can just dump everything on. It's like they just don't want to deal with you at all. They don't want to hear about your success stories. They don't want to hear about your happiness. They know when they talk to you, they hear it in your voice how happy you are, you're at peace, and you just want to share things with them, but you can't. And they don't allow you to do that because it's just like they don't want to hear it. They don't want to know about the good things that are happening in your life. That's how that toxic family is. And the reason why it's like that is because you have shut them out now and you're not allowing them to get inside of your mind and condition you to think that you were all the cause of all the bad things happening in a family. Some scapegoat, some scapegoat, they start to believe the lies that they were told. And it's like it takes a toll on their life, and they have, they end up developing a very low self esteem. They don't love themselves, they doubt themselves a lot. It affects their love life, it affects their everyday life. And they also have, some scapegoats have a way of using what they went through in the toxic family to push themselves harder to prove that I am and I can. And I've seen this happen. But it's still that pain, it's still that inner pain that, you know, they haven't really touched on because they just want to put it behind them and pretend like it didn't happen. So they start to tell themselves, I am this way because I'm just, that's just how I am. I have that type of mind frame. But what made them that way is the toxic family. So it's like they try to find things in life to prove to themselves that they can do it, even if it's not really a true interest. It's just something that they need to do to prove to their toxic family, that I am worthy. And, I'm worthy to be praised for my accomplishments. And a lot of times, a scapegoat, they grow up as a full grown adult, living their lives out to please that toxic family. They always want to bring home the reward that they receive from something that they have achieved and accomplished. But it will never be fulfilling to the toxic family. It would just never be good enough because if they are, again, not there to just be like a, you know, just be like a mat that they can step all on, a dumpster they can just dump all the blame off on. They really are no use to them and they don't care about anything that they have going on. So, it's a lot of trauma within that as well because when the scapegoat grow up and start to um, just realize that they went through a hell of a lot with their family. It takes a toll on their mental. Now, I'm not saying that all scapegoats go through this, but I just wanted to, just kind of talk about as far as coming up as a child up to an adult who was the scapegoat in the family, or what they call the black sheep of the family. I just want to talk about, how it is as far as coming up and where they are as the person that they've become since they've escaped that family. Because trust me, when you move out, you escaped. You didn't just move out. But I want to also talk about setting boundaries with your toxic family. and learning how to say no and stop enabling controlling parents and your adult siblings. You have to do that. You have to set boundaries with them because now, again, as you come into an adult, a lot of times the scapegoat will start to feel like, like they may start to have those moments of self blame because I'm not able to enjoy family like, other people do. The family is just so dysfunctional. And it's like every time I come around, they expect something out of me. And it's crazy that those type families, they always want something from the person who they constantly put down and didn't believe in. And they didn't want them to believe in themselves. But it's like, oh, it's all good when you come around and I can get money out of you or any other thing out of you that pleases me for the moment. And it's like there's just no love if you're not able to just give them the things that they want, supply their habits, they don't want to be bothered with you. So that's why it's important to start to say no. You have to say no to the toxic families. Because if you don't, they're going to continue to just use you. And they can only use you if you allow them to. And I know it got to be a hurting thing because you want to be able to go around your family. But it's like it was always that way since you were a child. And it's just like expecting something to happen it's never going to exist. So it's best to just go off and do your own thing and find peace. Start your own family, meet new people, surround yourself with more positive and motivating people. People who are on your side and people who believe in you and who can uplift you and love you and remind you that you are worthy. You're worthy of love. You deserve praise. You deserve rewards when you have achieved things. You even deserve a pat on the back when you try. Because that toxic family, they never gave you that. First of all, they wanted you to believe that it's just nothing that you can ever achieve. There's nothing that you will accomplish to make them feel proud of you. They like to plant in your mind that, like you're just someone you're mentally incapable of having the intelligence to do certain things. That's how that toxic family is. But again, if it's something they can benefit off of, that's when they're all smiles and they want to, open the lines of communication. But when you're not allowing them to just step all over you, you know, it's just like they shut you out. So now is your chance to set those boundaries and stay away and just say no to that toxic family. It's important that you do that, to maintain peace of mind. And that's the same for the controlling, the parents. For the controlling parents. I mean, it's the same. That's the same thing that goes for them and also the adult siblings. You have to stop enabling them by feeling that guilt. There's no need to feel guilt like you owe them something. They owe you everything. You don't owe them nothing. So if you don't ever speak to them again, I know that's hard. It's easy to say, but it's hard to do. That's fine. Again, find yourself positive people to be around. Surround yourself with people who love and appreciate you and accept you for who you are and don't try to change you out of shame, because the toxic family, they always want you. That's one of the ways that they kind of mold you and created the scapegoat because they wanted you to believe that you weren't good enough, like something is wrong with you, and all fingers are pointing at you at all times. The reason why, this happened or me and your dad didn't make it is because of you. It's just always comes back to you. All blame comes to you. So, stop enabling those adult siblings. Stop giving them things. Stop making them believe that, we can have a better relationship if I give, because you don't owe them anything either. The parents have also conditioned their minds to think that you were the bad one, so those parents are just toxic. The whole household is completely dysfunctional except you. You're the only sane one, the only one with logical thinking. So That's all I really want to talk about in this video. Thank y'all for watching. Leave your thoughts down below, and I'll talk to you soon.